Good morning and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folani. Hope you had a great weekend. Quite a busy weekend. All Nigerians were glued to their TV sets. Those that didn't actually go to the venues. Of course, we're talking about the main opposition party, the PDP, and their convention to, primaries, as it were, their primaries to select their candidate. And indeed, it was done yesterday. And done ahead of time because even though there's been an extension for submitting the forms, the PDP apparently didn't need it. They just got on with it, and so now we have the presidential candidate of the PDP. Mr. Debo Ologunagba, he joins us via Zoom. He is PDP's National Publicity Secretary. He's in our studio. Thank you very much, Debo, for coming on the program. Okay, I know there's a delay, but I just said good morning. Debo Ologunagba, good morning to you. It is technology, that's what it is, because just minutes ago before coming on air, we were chatting. Myself and Debo Ologunagba were chatting just minutes before coming on air, and it does look as if there's something. But in the meantime, while we're sorting all of that out, this is what we're going to be talking about, the successful conclusion, I think it is, the successful conclusion of the PDP presidential primaries. And there's the winner, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. He indeed will be carrying the flag for the PDP. So as I was saying, as soon as we can speak with Mr. Debo Ologunagba, we will begin to do so. But meanwhile, as we're sort of getting that ready, perhaps we can take a report that sort of, sweeps it all up before we begin our talking.
People's Democratic Party members are coming to terms with the victory of former Vice President Atiku Abubakar at the primary election. While some are happy with the outcome of the polls, some others are aggrieved for one reason or another. Atiku Abubakar himself acknowledges this in his acceptance speech. His appeal to everyone aggrieved is that they sheath their swords and team up with him for a better Nigeria.
Today marks another milestone in the process to consolidate our democratic gains.
To some of his colleagues in the party, it was a contest freely and fairly won. Their pledge is to support Atiku Abubakar all the way so that this time he can clinch the coveted seat.
Nigerians want us. They are looking forward to us rescuing and rebuilding Nigeria. And that is why we are going to go out, to go and present our position to Nigerians. And of course, come 2023, we will take over.
I'm calling on the leaders to accept the art of God and quickly come together, support this action.
One man still embittered with the vote-buying syndrome that enveloped the delegate system is former Kaduna State governorship aspirant, Shehu Sani. He says the future of over 200 million Nigerians should not be left in the hands of the hungry few under the pretext of delegate system.
It's unfortunate that money has become a determining factor in Nigeria's politics. I think after this election, Nigerians have to discuss the corruption that exists within the delegate system. As long as you have a delegate system where the highest bidder carries the trophy, then it will strangulate our democracy.
The party hierarchy has also appealed to every member of the PDP to see Atiku Abubakar's victory as a golden opportunity for the party to reclaim Nigeria as it continues to rebrand and strategize for improved prospects.
Okay, so that is the report you've seen earlier. It sort of rounds up for us. As I was saying, we have Mr. Debo Ologunagba. He is in his office in Abuja, and he joins us. Good morning to you, Debo. Thank you very much for joining our program.
Good morning.
Indeed. Okay.
Good morning for having me.
I suppose congratulations on the successful conclusion of this all-important event, the presidential primaries. It's all news now. It's all history. Even though it's a very recent history, just a day old, we now know who, the flag bearer of the PDP will be. But one or two little things, if you don't mind, for me to first of all clear up. Former President Goodluck Jonathan, his picture was seen on, some materials for that event. Would you like to comment on that very, very briefly? Because I don't know that he was even in the venue at all.
Thank you very much for having me, and thank you for the congratulations. Again, I think I want to congratulate Nigerians because PDP is back and the hope is back. As a side comment of what you just requested for regarding the former president, Goodluck Jonathan, we as a party believes in order, in orderliness, in rule of law, and we respect our constitution and we respect the laws of Nigeria and the constitution. To the extent to the photograph of the president, the former president Goodluck Jonathan, we do not have any evidence that he is no longer a member of the PDP. I just want to make this clear. There are rumors here and there. There have been no confirmation or denial by him of those rumors. And as a party that goes with our rules and respects rule of law, what we have done is to recognize the fact that he is a member of our party up to this point. And in any event, I would say this for clarity, that a million rumor does not translate to the facts. Membership of the party is personal, and there are procedures for you to disengage from the party if you choose it. So as at the point we went to press for the program, former President Ebele Goodluck Jonathan was a member of the party. If there are new facts to the contrary, of course we will deal with that. So we deal on facts, we don't deal on rules in the PDP.
Okay, well, thank you for that. And as you say, as of the time of going to press for that program, so even as you are speaking now, it would seem to me that that situation hasn't changed. You have no information that former President Goodluck Jonathan is no longer a member of the PDP because, as you just said, there are processes.
Absolutely. Absolutely so. We have no reason to believe that he's not a member of the party as at this moment. And at the time we went to press, he has not indicated otherwise. So like I said earlier, we don't rely on rumors or speculations. And in any event, like I said again earlier, a million rumors does not translate to a fact.
Okay. Well, thank you about that detail. I don't know if it's a little detail or not, but at least it's a detail, and you've cleared it up. As far as you are concerned, and you as the National Publicity Secretary of the main opposition, PDP, former President Goodluck Jonathan, to the best of your knowledge, is still a member of your party. As soon as there's information to the contrary, you will let us know. Okay. Now, going to the event itself proper. I've congratulated you on the successful organization of the event. Now we have, but the way it all went, let me just ask you this question. Zoning, the PDP decided to throw it up in the air, so to speak, for whoever to catch if you can. Now, what would be your personal opinion as to how the whole zoning question went in the PDP? Was that zoning for Nigeria's benefit or for individuals' benefit within the party?
Well, I reference this now, Yuri, for this. Like I said earlier, the PDP, we must understand, is an organic party that is based on laws, on its rules and regulations, in compliance with the Electoral Act and, of course, the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended. You recall that in the PDP Constitution, there is a principle of zoning that is consistent with the provision of the Constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria to the extent that there must be federal character, which recognizes that in every part of this country, we have quality individuals who are educated and can perform in any role. Recognizing that is the fact that there's need for us to have unity and have the sense of belonging in every part of the country. And that's why the People's Democratic Party enshrined that in the Constitution. Because we recognize that Nigeria is comprised of several ethnicity or tribes, we recognize that, but we know that as a country, if we come together as one people, then we can go to greater heights. That was why the party deliberately named itself People's Democratic Party, recognizing the fact that there are differences and there are people that are different tribes. However, if we have a common goal, we can build a nation of a rainbow coalition. So what we have done in the PDP was to recognize the law and abide by the law. And I put it this way. A political association on its own can create rules and can understand it. They can have discussion. They can have understanding. And that is within the ambit of consensus building or zoning or rotation, as the case as you may describe it. But this is still it's in line with the position of the party to bring every part of the country together. But you recall this, the rules of a party, the constitution of the party, the understanding of the membership and the stakeholders is subject to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. While a party can have the right to discuss, to agree, but it cannot abridge the right of individuals that are guaranteed in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which provided for qualification. And at the moment any individual is qualified, belonging to a party as a financial member, which are part of the conditions, to be able to make yourself available under a platform of a party, particularly PDP, despite the understanding within the party, that is still subject to the right of an individual to aspire to any position, provided is qualified under the constitution of the party, and more importantly, under the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So, every Nigerian has the right to participate in the electoral process as long as they are qualified under the Constitution. That cannot be taken away by any party. And what our party simply did, or what we decided on, was to say, look, you know what? We can agree on zoning, we can agree on discussion, we can discuss our issues. However, if anybody who is a member of the party is desirous of contesting for any position, then they have a right to do so under the Constitution of Nigeria. And you recall, and I'll just take us back a little bit, at the National Convention of the party in October last year, this agreement came into being. Consensus, zoning came in with regards to the positions of the party in terms of the position, different National Executive Committee, National Working Committee positions. What was agreed was that a certain position would go to certain zones. However, you will recall that convention that 3 positions were contested for. The Deputy National Chairman's North, the Deputy National Chairman, South, and the National Youth Leader. These positions were contested. Even though the party, on its own arrangement, had decided that they should be zoned, there are individuals within the parties elected to contest. And because the party believes in rule of law, respect the law, respect the constitution, allow that process to go on. Again, if we go back to 1999, the PDP zoned the presidency to the south. In that election, the convention in Jos in 1999, you recall that the late governor of Kano State, Abubakar, contested, even though he's from Kano. The position was zoned to the south. He went ahead and contested, and the party allowed him to contest because it is his constitutional right that no party arrangement or consensus can take away. So we're consistent with our provision of our constitution. We're consistent with the provision of the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended. So there are no gray area here other than we have followed the law, and because we're a law-abiding party and we follow the rule of law and follow our constitution and follow the constitution of Nigeria.
Yeah, whereas I understand that, Debo, but as you said, your party, I imagine all parties are also sort of evolving organically, looking at the environment, understanding the environment, and for the moment, of course, when you have a presidential candidate, it's because you hope that indeed that candidate will win. So theoretically now, the way it would go if everything went the PDP's way is that there would be after 8 years of President Muhammadu Buhari, there would be another president. Of course, the way the APC is going to see this is going to be totally different. But staying on the theoretical for the moment, this would be followed by another period of 4 years. I fail to see, I'm having a difficulty understanding that part of it which you explained, that without prejudice to the fundamental, even indeed legal rights of all contestants, there is the feeling that you know very well as a Nigerian, that there's this principle of you can't have, well, most people think, you can't have 8 years in the north and then, as PDP seems to be ready to do now, go another 4 or 8 years, even though it's not the same party.
Yeah, again, I think what has brought about this agitation in Nigeria is the fact that there is a failure of government, and particularly the APC government has brought in disunity as a policy of government. And that now began to create the disunity that we experience today. And that feeling of I cannot be protected become more visible. We recognize that in every part of this country, that we're competent people, we have credible people, we have patriotic Nigerians that are willing to bring this country together. But the APC, in its policy, and you recall that when this APC government came in, they came with a policy of 97% and 5%. And then that was pursued to the extent that it became an issue of concern to various parts of this country. Promoted ethnicity, promoted tribalism, promoted cronyism, and brought a certain part of the country into every sphere of government. And that brought concern to other parts of the country. So this conversation became more fierce under the policy of the APC. You recall that the president of the country, of the APC, President Muhammadu Buhari, described a very critical part of this country as a dot in a circle. What does that is to put people in the area of panic that yes, do we belong to the same country? But what the PDP is offering is a unified Nigeria where every part of this country will feel the sense of belonging. And let's get serious about this. We Nigerians truly will not feel the way they feel today if we have a good government. An average Nigerian don't care about where the president comes from. He is concerned about whether he can be secure, whether his children can go to school. In the last 1 year, the university system has been shut down, and the government of the day present as if nothing is happening. Every day we get news of killings, massive killing, kidnapping. At a point, as a country, we're becoming numb to violence. And then we find the leadership abdication of the president. And when you find that we're at a crisis situation, what you find in the president is to transmit from being commander-in-chief to consoler-in-chief. You will recall that in the United States, during the George Floyd episode, the picture of President Biden kneeling down before the 6-year-old daughter of George Floyd went to the whole world and shows empathy. But you find out that here, there's no empathy, there's no leadership, there's abdication of duty. Every time we need the president, we can't find him. That is why this concern is there. And so the Nigerians are now united on the need for them to go back to the PDP, which has now provided a unifier as its candidate for the presidency of Nigeria. And I'm not referencing anything, and there's some, from my perspective, there are some spiritual dimension to this. President, and I'll call him president because I know he'll be the next president of Nigeria. President Atiku Abubakar was elected and became the candidate of the party on May 29. Again, symbolically, May 29, 2023 will be the swearing in for the next president of Nigeria. That is to tell Nigerians that hope is on the way. We can do a countdown to hope. We can now do a countdown to disappearance of despair, of hopelessness, of disunity, and then we can begin to look forward like from 29th of May 2023, Nigerians can now start the process of rescuing a country, redirect it in the area of unity, and begin the hard work of rebuilding. But again, because PDP is a party that has programs, that has the right people, that has the right mindset, that are completely apolitical with respect to where you voted. We bring every part of the country together, and we are determined to do that. So for us, it's so much about what we have to give to Nigerian people, the hope that security can come back, that our children can begin to go back to school, that the bindings spirit within Nigerian people, because the ordinary Nigerians don't care. They want to live together in peace. And they've lived for generations in peace.
Okay.
But this APC came in for a purpose, to come in to divide the country, and they came with lies, sacrifice, and that's why it is not a party.
Okay.
It is a special purpose vehicle already put together for this purpose. So for us, we are focused on getting the right persons to help Nigeria come together, and we got a unifier as our president candidate right now.
Okay, Debo, you spoke there about, the concept of hopelessness and that kind of a thing. But the ruling party, you recall, actually, rescued, that is the way they put it, rescued Nigeria from the hopelessness that was on the ground, and there was euphoria, as you recall. It was not a slim election. The President Muhammadu Buhari, he roundly defeated the incumbent then, former President Jonathan. And so, between then and now, are you saying that the PDP has been very observant, it's been watching what's going on, and it's now in a better place to do a better job from that which Nigeria was rescued from when APC came to power?
Well, I don't know if APC rescued Nigeria. It's actually ludicrous that APC would mention that word rescue. I mean, look at all the indices. You remember that the economy under the PDP handed over a $550 billion economy. curiously and very sadly today, Nigeria is the poverty capital of the world. In 2015, the PDP handled its 7.3 unemployment rate to the APC. Today we're 33% and counting, and it's plus X, where X can be anything. If you put the number of unemployed and unemployable and underemployed, we're probably in the 60%. The more critical part, which controls every other thing, is the insecurity under this government. And the fact that there are evidence of complacency and the fact that they are insensitive and immune to the suffering of Nigerians is critical. If you look at our program, which is this, it depicts the pains that Nigeria goes through right now. You find a little child crying with blood and tears, and you see Nigeria that is cracked all over. But you can see the able hand of PDP within Nigeria trying to put it together. This is what we hope to deliver. This is what we have been able to do. Again, you look at it from today. We have external debt in trillions. We probably have lost count. Again, you can have it on and on. Now, the level of insecurity is so pathetic that you can't travel by road, you can't travel by air, you can't travel by the rails. And every day, this country, this government had considered sovereignty of a large part of this country to terrorists. And that tells you that's the failure of government. The only duty of government is to provide security and welfare for the people. On that singular front alone, the APC government has failed woefully, and all Nigerians can feel it. One question that is important for Nigerians to ask: am I better off in 2015 than I am today? And the answer is very obvious. We know, in terms of life discounting expenses, today the dollar is 650 or thereabout, and it's counting. In 2015, the dollar was 197 to the naira to the dollar. Now, today you can ask yourself, am I better then than now?
Okay.
We know the price of rice then and what it is now.
All right.
We know that our children were in school then and whether they are in school right now.
One moment,
Those are questions that we can actually interrogate. And Nigerians know better. The good thing is this: they came in with propaganda, with lies to deceive. But like everything in life, even lies have an expiry date.
All
the
right.
lies of APC have expired, and right now there's campaigning all over the place to create new narratives, and we should expect more lies.
All right.
But the good thing is that Nigerians know better.
One moment,
we recognize it, and we know that Nigerians are ready for the hope, and PDP is back.
It is your day, and you are our guest. I'm not about to rain on your parade, but let's look at another. Let's look at another matter. The monetization of this whole process. I guess this is a Nigerian problem. As you know, this is part of the situation that was on the ground before the APC won power at the elections back in 2015. Now this money, one wants to ask, so what has been learned in all that time, considering the way money was deployed in this particular election? People are not even hiding it anymore. And as I said, it's a Nigerian situation. But what do you think as a party has been learned? People have, agreed to step down. Some people have walked away. What exactly would you say has been the cost of this election, if it has brought about so much rancor that principal figures have abandoned the party, and it is what it is? That whole matter of monetization, PDP, would you say, is continuing in this, shall we say, money bags? But I must concede that's a Nigerian situation. But your thoughts on it, please.
Yeah, Yori, thank you very much. And when you talk about monetization, for me, I begin to wonder when you talk about this monetization. Well, I didn't participate in the process as a delegate, so I can't speak to the level of monetization that you allege. However, what is important is the fact that the transparent process that was deployed by the PDP at this convention. I had a report in this one that the EFCC officials were present at the. I didn't see any of them. However, if they were, maybe that's a welcome development, because indeed, EFCC has a role to play to ensure that people who spend monies that are not explainable, that are inexplicable in terms of their income and their contribution to the economy, of course they should be investigated. But again, I think this searchlight should go to the other party, which is the APC. You will recall that there was 100 million represent form on APC. And you reckon that they have, at the last count, about 28. We know, and they know, that a lot of those individuals cannot even win local government elections. But consistent with the APC policy of fraud and corruption, they devise another means of money slushing and laundering of money. There are limitations under the campaign finance laws. And they know that individuals cannot bring that money without being under the radar of the EFCs and other security agencies. So they devise this BUPIT scheme in such a way that people who claim to have bought forms for 100 million, and that goes straight to the coffers of the party with no intention to contest. That is being a money for the purchase of forms to create a slush fund for the and to influence many other corrupt schemes. So I think that's the mistake line. In terms of our convention, it was transparent. We showcase what we believe in democracy. I will need to let Nigerians know this fact. The APC has been a present and clear danger to Nigeria's electoral process. How? Each way we try to manipulate. We talked earlier about an extension by INEC. That was disturbing, and INEC needs to demonstrate its own independence. INEC previously before now has said several things about the fact that no days can be changed. Now it has been changed for six days because of APC. You will remember, because we need to remember this fact so we don't lose track of the connivance.
Well, when you say because of APC, sorry, Debo, how fair are you really being fair? Yes. When you say because of APC? It was the conglomeration of political parties that had asked. True, it must be said.
Excuse me.
PDP didn't need it.
Can you allow me to clarify?
You see, you don't change the goalposts in the middle of the match. To the detriment of all that, you recall that APC had postponed the screening of its candidates indefinitely, and after the announcement of an extension. So obviously, you can see from that there's a working arrangement between the APC and the INEC to shift the goalpost in the middle of the game. I think that is not the essence of politics.
Well, I don't know. You must say what you're saying advisedly, but there's no proof, you will agree, there's no proof for what you say.
No, exactly, you don't need a proof. You can deduce from the action. Let me see, this is not about being best frivolous. I just gave you the timeline. Now, they announced an indefinite suspension of their own screening process. Few days away. I mean, the deduction that will come from there would be why would INEC now decide to move the goalpost in the middle of the game? It is curious. These are all issues for Nigerians to investigate and to interrogate. That's what I'm saying.
All right.
I'm saying Nigerians should be aware and say, why did this happen? Why has this happened? Now, civil society organizations are now requesting INEC to move other dates in terms of collection and registration of people qualified to vote. We're waiting to know whether they will do that.
Yeah, but Debo, I mean, I'm surprised because the INEC was quite clear that the only reason it found a way to allow this extension was because it wouldn't affect the next juncture. There was nothing going on, and so it wouldn't affect the next juncture. Therefore, in as much as there's no negotiation, no subsequent date could be adjusted, they allowed it. And so that was explained very, very clearly. It wasn't for anybody's particular benefit, apart from the groupings of political parties that had made this joint request. But the way you're now framing it is as if the goalpost was changed for the benefit of a particular party. But just leaving that to one side, the other thing is healing the hurt, healing the bruises. How well is PDP doing with that? Because I imagine there were a number of shockers. Governor Wike, for instance, he was shocked to the marrow. You know how it went, the way it went. I have heard your candidate, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, extend a hand of invitation to all aggrieved party members to come back. How big a job is that? Because there are people who are livid right now in the PDP.
Well, thank you very much. You made some comments there that I don't have privy to. Probably you have more information than myself about the reaction of the aspirants that contested the election. I will leave that to it. However, let me tell you that, like I said earlier, the PDP is an organic party. It has processes, it has organs that are set up specifically to take care of situations like this. We know that politics is about interest. And it is the ability of any political party to reconcile those differences that makes it a good political party. Now, the PDP has what I describe as internal dispute resolution mechanism. And there are bodies put together for that purpose. This new NWC is determined to do that, and it started well by setting up almost a standing committee of 24 on the issues of Ekiti and Osun elections, because we have challenges at that time. There were differences, there were opinions that are diverse, but that committee comprised of the National Working Committee, the Board of Trustees, National Assembly leadership, and the caucus and Governors Forum. They all came together and set up almost a standing committee to look at issues like this. So because we are a party that grows from strength to strength, and dynamic, there are structures in place that will look at all issues and concerns raised. And I can tell you, because the issue in the party is not about individuals. It is about Nigeria and the survival of Nigeria. It's about the insecurity in Nigeria. It's about unemployment. It's about the fact that the economy is going down the drain. The fact that our rating in the world is going down. The fact that there's so much disunity and insecurity. Those are the concerns of the party. And every of the aspirants are agreeable and agreed on these issues. So I believe that because we have a common purpose, which is not just about PDP, but about Nigeria, it will be easy for us to look into all our issues, look at the differences, reconcile, and we'll come together as one big family that we are and face this rudderless government and start the process of getting this government out of the way so that Nigerians can begin to have leaves of life. APC has its knee on the neck of Nigerians. Nigerians are saying, get off your knee, off our neck. And I'm sure Nigerians will demand that, and they will get that by the election next year.
Okay, but you have to admit that after being defeated in 2014-15, after being defeated in 2015, in 2019 the same thing happened. Apparently, there must be, PDP has been watching and has been learning, no doubt, and has been observing. And you've spoken about evolution. You've talked about organic development, organic growth. So no doubt they must have been watching, because most Nigerians will say, so what exactly is it that PDP is going to do this time that it hasn't done? First of all, the 16 years before, there was a break taken over by the existing, by the, the current government. So what is it, is the question that no doubt the candidate is going to have to face on the campaign trail. What exactly is it that you're going to do this time that's going to be different from the past 16 years before power was wrested from you, because of that perception of a lack of performance?
Well, again, I like the word, you say perception. Perception is not reality. Now, we have capacity now, and we have the ability to be compared. Now, you find a party that is organic, like I said, that has a policy and process. And then you compare that to a party that already put together as an SPV, that has no policy, and that's why you can't see them succeed on any issue, including the simple issue of holding a convention. And these are on the public domain. So you need to compare like for like. The PDP is far and light years ahead of the APC, because the PDP has policies, has programs. Number one priority for the PDP is the need to unify this country, to bring the whole essence of Nigeria together, to have what I call a sense of belonging. And the fact that if you unleash the capacity of Nigerians, that everybody can achieve its set goals without expectation that, yes, it can be brought down. Today, the appointment in all the security services chiefs is a pointer to where this government believes in the fact that tribalism should be ahead of the national unity. So the PDP is concerned about the unity of this country. And that's why the party, in its wisdom by the delegates, has elected a man referred to as the unifier, who can reach across every cell of this country, who can be trusted. And that's what is important that we do differently. And the moment you have unity, the common purpose, and we come together as a nation, every other areas will come up on board, because with that will affect the security issue. Because a government cannot operate in vacuum. It requires buy-in of citizens. And the moment you believe that, yes, I have a stake in this union called Nigeria, when you have information that will be helpful to security agencies in terms of securing us, then you will find information coming in. Then you will have the commitment of the leadership of the party on its own. Not when a party as a policy has been alleged to have imported terrorists into the country for the purpose of 2019 election, which you referred to earlier. When you said it, I just smiled, I chuckled. There are evidence that that election was won by PDP, and the manipulation that went on it, that is now in the past. For us as a party, we're looking forward. We're looking at Nigerian people to have a buy-in as a partner, so that we can rescue our country together. Because we are experts in the economy, because we believe in the competence of professionals. You recall of the PDP, you have a lot of world-class renowned economists and technocrats who are in that government, and that helps us to create a country that we can all hold on to. You recall the financial sector then, the banking reforms, the stock market reforms, and the economy as at the time PDP led in 2015 was a 14 trillion stock market. Today we know what it is. Come at us.
Okay, so we're going to have to leave it here. Debo, Mr. Debo Ologunagba, we're going to have to leave it here. But thank you very much for making the time for us to have heard from you. There are a number of other things that I want to ask, but there will be another day. I hope we can call on you again, and you'll be able to answer some of those questions. So once more, congratulations on the holding of your presidential primaries. That was Mr. Debo Ologunagba. National Publicity Secretary of the main opposition party, the PDP. Okay, now, I imagine our viewers would like to, come in on the matter. And so, yes, we'll open the phones now. There are a number of issues that, because we had to make time for you as well. But the main thing is that, as you heard, he's very optimistic that this time around, the PDP will indeed be able to persuade Nigerians to give them another chance after they had been at it for 16 years before the APC took over in 2015. And after that, there was another election. The result was the same. The President Muhammadu Buhari won that. And here we are now, going for another try. So it remains to be seen what the pitches will be to the public. But Ada in Jos has called in. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Mr. Yori. I hope you're still on the PDP thing.
Yes. We're still on.
Because
yes, we're still on PDP's convention. I mean primaries.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm not surprised at the outcome of that convention. I knew the contest was between Atiku and Wike, despite the number of candidates in the race. I commend PDP for conducting a peaceful and transparent election. But my worry is the monetization of delegates who are supposed to represent the masses without being compromised. Money politics portends danger for our democracy. Then what happened was more like a bazaar or a child waiting for Father Christmas gifts at the end of the year. For the delegates, it's a 4-year cycle. Having said that, what transpired in the primaries goes to justify one of Shakespeare's quotes, that there's no art to find the mind construction in the face. You really know what I'm talking about. Well, for me, Atiku is a formidable candidate, and PDP's concern for now is to present a strong candidate that is both capable and acceptable nationwide. Now they have put APC on its toes. I don't think they cannot change the goalpost again. At least six days in circles, and they don't have any choice. So but the APC, if they are wise enough, let them do what PDP did. Let them throw it open. Let them come there and show it live. That this gone at one point consensus, because that is what is going to mar their own.
Okay.
So, but I don't know. Maybe God wants to use it, just like the Pharaoh incident. Maybe God wants to use that method to scatter them. Well, fine, so be it. But God, it's ridiculous, honestly speaking. Let them allow them to go into the field. They are supposed to look for a candidate. For me, if you ask me, the person there that can face Atiku now is Asiwaju. Let me just tell you the truth. So that's true for me. So if all these their consensus are going to bring in a Senate president, this and that, well, anyway, I wish them all the best of luck. A word is enough for the wife.
All right, then.
Let's not go out of this country.
Thank you very much, Ada. On that, Mr. Ologunagba actually commented on that. We don't know what exactly is happening, but he commented on the fact that as far as he's concerned, he doesn't know any different. Former President Jonathan is a member of the PDP because there has been no paper saying that he has withdrawn his membership from the PDP. But this election, sometimes the more you look, the less you see. You don't really understand what's going on. The EFCC was there to make sure that I don't know, it's a crime actually, monetizing election, buying votes. That's why they were there, even though people were making fun of them. There were all sorts of memes that, who told you that they were going to come to the primaries ground and then begin to distribute money there? That all of this had been sorted out before. But as you heard Mr. Ologunagba say, maybe pots shouldn't be calling kettles black. You know what he's talking about. Mazi Okorafor, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, I guess. Honestly speaking, what is happening now, I don't know whether we call it politics of money or politics of dollars or politics of go for and come back. But there's one thing I want us to know is this. When people start saying delegates, I start laughing. Do you know that all these delegates, I was discussing with people yesterday, they say, look, 70% within the environment where they are now, many of them don't know how to read and write. They just come, they just say, look, take this, it's a finish. Those who that knows how to read and write, I will take decision by themselves. Nobody allowed them. And those who that they just say, they joke, okay, how much will you give me? I'll put your name as a delegate. They bribe themselves into the system, they go, they still collect their money back. So that is the problem Nigeria is facing. If a delegate who don't know how to read and write will collecting money And tomorrow you come back and sit and start complaining that government did not do it. That is why I'm saying that, look, Tinubu has nobody should be talking about go and look for another person. APC should give him. Let two of them and Atiku come and stand. So Nigeria decide within themselves. Because the way things are going now, the so-called delegates, and I'm still insisting, if they say they will do direct primary, let everybody go and do it instead of indirect. It's better for us. Thank you very much. Kudos to God, Tinubu is coming in. There's no shaking. No place is not bother them. It's the time somebody said I continue to. You don't need prayers again. The prayers have been answered.
All right, then.
Have a blessed day.
Indeed. Well, that's a fine place where to leave it, Mazi Okoroafo. Thank you very much. And today, Ada also called. So just the two of you are from the usual suspect. There's so many other people that I know would have wanted to contribute to this whole matter, but time is against us. Let's just leave that and say that this is where we're going to leave it today. Please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. We'll continue, maybe on this political trend, you never can say. But in the meantime, I am Yori Folani. Bye-bye for now.